Hey guys, what's going on? James here, and in this video today, we are going to be talking about a situation that I'm sure not a lot of people want to talk about, but it is definitely something that needs to be talked about, and that is the question, will Tom Brady retire from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, or will he stay for another season? So, if you guys are new here, go ahead and subscribe. Hit the like button if you do enjoy these types of videos, and leave your thoughts and opinions as to whether or not you think Tom Brady will or will not retire down in the comment section below. I would love to hear your guys' thoughts and opinions. Now, I'm going to be making a couple of more videos like this, not just about Tom Brady, but there are some other players on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers that may or may not retire, and I feel that it's important to address and talk about all of those situations. But of course, I wanted to get Tom Brady as the first guy to talk about here because this is something that has been brought up basically ever since Tom Brady was in his mid-30s, so it's been about 10 years. There's always that discussion, right? Will Tom Brady retire? Will he not retire? They asked Tom Brady time and time and time again, and you know, they did ask Tom Brady after the game. You know, what are your thoughts? What are you thinking right now? Are you going to retire? And, you know, Tom Brady had said that he's going to take it one day at a time and that he feels really good right now physically, which we will talk about that aspect of it in a little bit. But, you know, he didn't say yes, he didn't say no, so of course everybody's stirring the pot, you know, everybody's coming out with, well, according to sources, Tom Brady is non-committal, you know, he's not making a commitment yet to next season, and all these other different types of things. There's so much chatter out there about this situation because that's how it goes every single year, and I wanted to give my own personal thoughts and opinions on this, and I wanted you guys to do the same down in the comments section below. So, here's the way I see this situation right now. You know, it was reported by Ian Rappaport. It was reported by Adam Schefter, among many other various national media people, that again, Tom Brady is not committed to playing next season for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and that he is possibly, you know, contemplating retirement here. It is important to note that Tom Brady is still under contract with the Buccaneers next season, so it's not going to be a situation where, you know, Tom Brady would maybe even go into free agency if he doesn't retire. No, it's either he comes back to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers for another year or he retires. That's really the two options right now. And Ian Rappaport and Adam Schefter both also said in their reports that the Buccaneers are really working hard to, you know, make a case for Tom Brady. I don't think they're going to have to make too much of a case in my opinion, but you know, again, they're saying like, hey, Tom, come on, let's come back for another year. That doesn't mean that Tom Brady is leaning more towards retirement than playing. It just means that the Bucs are saying, all right, Tom, let's come back for another year. Bruce Arians said that he would be shocked if Tom Brady retired, and I think that that's been the general vibe among coaches and players based on what has been said in press conferences and whatnot, that, you know, people would more likely than not be shocked if Tom Brady was to retire. In my opinion, I'm just going to, you know, throw it out here right now. I don't think Tom Brady will retire. I think that you look at the situation right now, all the context and aspects of it, and Tom Brady can still play, and I do still believe that Tom Brady will want to try to win one more Super Bowl before he finally retires. In a recent press conference or an interview, something along those lines, Tom Brady had came out and said that he would love to finish his career on a Super Bowl win. We saw Peyton Manning do a very similar thing back in 2015 or 2016. I can't remember which year, but he won the Super Bowl with the Denver Broncos. He went out on a Super Bowl win. On the flip side, you had a guy like Drew Brees, who just lost in the divisional round last year, and he still decided to retire. So I don't think that that is the you know, biggest deciding factor as to whether or not Tom Brady will or will not retire. Just that aspect of him wanting to finish out on a Super Bowl win. But I do feel it is an important aspect of that decision that is going to be made. You also have to look at other things such as, you know, family life, you know, raising a family. Tom Brady has said multiple times that, you know, he does want to be there for his family and take care of his family. It's understandably you know, a good thing to say. I think anybody would say that. So that's going to play a factor into it. But You know, one of the biggest things that I look at whenever I look at this situation is, again, that situation that we just talked about is potentially trying to win one more Super Bowl before you retire. But also, Tom Brady said it himself recently again. He said that, you know, hey, once I start playing bad, once I start sucking, that's when I'm going to retire. And that's where I think you really have a good case for Brady not to retire. Tom Brady is not playing bad football. He does not have to be carried by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. In fact, quite the opposite. The Buccaneers were back in their game versus the LA Rams in the divisional round because of what Tom Brady was able to do in terms of engineering a comeback. And that's the biggest difference I think you see here with other big-name, big-time quarterbacks who have retired recently. Ben Roethlisberger, literally just this year, he is going to retire. He did not look like the same quarterback he once was in his prime. You could argue that he was getting carried by the Pittsburgh Steelers. Drew Brees, last year in the divisional round, what happened? He was, for the most part, carried by a lot of supporting cast members on his offense, like Alvin Kamara, like Michael Thomas, and a fantastic defense. Again, Drew Brees in the playoffs was a bit of a shell of his former self. And then finally, I think the most glaring example is Peyton Manning. You know, you look at Peyton Manning in that Super Bowl, he did not have a good game. In fact, he did not have a good year at all in the Tampa Bay, or in the Denver Broncos super win. Sorry, getting all these things confused. But my point being is that Peyton Manning, even towards the end of his time there with the Denver Broncos, did not look the best. It looked very, very far away from what prime Peyton Manning was back with the Indianapolis Colts. And that's where you start to see guys finally break down and say, okay, maybe it's time for me to retire. We've seen it with Peyton Manning. We've seen it with Drew Brees. We're seeing it now with Ben Roethlisberger, and time and time and time again. Once quarterbacks really start to lose their ability to lead a team with their play and carry an offense, that's when you usually start to see them finally admit, okay, it's time for me to retire. And that's not what we're seeing here with Tom Brady. Tom Brady is still putting up fantastic numbers. In the 2 years he has had with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, he has thrown 40 touchdowns at least, not including the playoffs, in both of these seasons. He is throwing for insane amounts of yards. He just eclipsed 5,000 passing yards this year, and he is not slowing down. He still has the ability to carry an offense, to carry an entire team, and win games. And I think that is the biggest thing. You know, I can't delve into the mind of Tom Brady and know what he is thinking, but you've got to assume that Tom Brady knows that he can still play. He can still go out there and have a pretty legitimate chance of winning a Super Bowl, at least making another deep playoff run to give themselves a chance. And that's going to be one of the biggest deciding factors, I think, is that Tom Brady, I think, is going to sit down. He is going to say, okay, I will give it one more year. I know I can still play. I know I can still give this thing one more shot. And at the end of the day, folks, that's what I think is going to happen. I think whenever you take in the factors of, yes, Tom Brady still does want to win one more Super Bowl. I know he got one last year with the Buccaneers, but hey, the man's competitive. He's one of the most competitive human beings in the world right now. Of course he wants to go out there and win another Super Bowl, and he can still go do that. He really can. It is still a feasible thing for Tom Brady to do. He's not in a situation like Drew Brees or Ben Roethlisberger or Peyton Manning where he was not able to potentially carry his team to a Super Bowl win. He can still do that. And I think combining that as well as other factors will lead Tom Brady to say, hey, I'm going to give it one more year. Let's see what happens. But that's kind of my thoughts and opinions on that situation. I want your guys' thoughts and opinions. Let me know down in the comments section below what you guys think. And also, yeah, Tom Brady doesn't want to go out on a last-second field goal loss in the divisional round to the LA Rams. I don't think that that's... again, he's a very competitive guy, and he does not want to lose like that. He does not want to go out like that. He wants to go out a winner, and I think that that will be something that will, again, be a big deciding factor, one of the many supporting factors into him coming back for one more season. But again, let me know what you guys think about this down in the comments section below. I would love to hear your guys' thoughts and opinions. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you all enjoyed, and I will see you all in the next video or the next live stream. But until then, and as always, guys, goodbye for now, and go Bucs.